magnetic field produced along the axis of the current carrying circular coil. So this is the circular coil which carries the current I in the anti-clockwise direction, which has the radius of R. From the point O, I am going to consider a point P along the Z axis. So P is the point which is at Z distance from the point O. And let's consider the two line element of which is situated at the point C and D of the circular coil, and which carries the current I. So this is the line element which carries the current I. So I into dl. So these two current elements are going to produce the magnetic field at point P. These are the two small lengths, that's why they are going to give the small magnetic field at point P. So they can be named as dB vector because it is the small magnetic field, that's why dB vector. And the line joining point C and P, line joining vector P and C and P and D is going to be R vector. And the point P is making angle theta with D. So now it's a right angle triangle, and the hypotenuse value can be found as R square is equal to R square plus Z square, capital R square plus Z square, and R vector alone is equal to root of R square plus Z square. From this theta we can find cos theta. Cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent is R and hypotenuse is root of R square plus Z square. And PC is equal to PD, both line joining vectors. Both line elements makes the same distance at the point P. So PC is equal to PD is equal to R vector. And CPO, angle of CPO and DPO is going to be theta. And the point D makes angle 90 with the magnetic field which is produced by D. Like the point C makes 90 degree here with the magnetic field which is produced by the D. And from the point O, the magnetic field is going to be outward. So look at the point P. There are two vectors crossing each other, and we have to find, because of the two length element, there are the two magnetic fields are produced and they are vectors. So we have to find the resolution of vector at the point P to find the resultant of these two vectors. So point P, I am drawing separately just this part, two vectors. So this is the vector which is arised from point C, and this is one more vector which is arised from point D. To find the resultant, they are resolved into two components. dB y is equal to dB sin theta. So this is the horizontal, and dB z is equal to dB cos theta. So resolution of vector is nothing but splitting of vector into their components. So one is horizontal and another one is the vertical component. Like this vector also going to be resolved into two components. So horizontal is dB y is equal to dB sin theta, and vertical is dB z is equal to dB cos theta. Here dB sin theta and dB sin theta is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. They will be getting cancelled. So they will be lying like here, like this, dB sin theta, dB sin theta, equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. They will be getting cancelled. And this dB cos theta and dB cos theta, equal in magnitude and direction is same. That's why they are going to lie along the point OP. So resultant we are getting here. And to find the whole magnitude of the magnetic field, we have to integrate this small length element. So when this small element is integrated, the magnetic field also sweeps like this in the form of cone. The magnetic field we are getting at the point P. So to find the magnetic field at point P, we are going to use the Biot-Savart law. dB vector is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi IDL cross r cap divided by r square is the expression for the Biot-Savart law. So here at point P, the magnetic field is only due to the vertical component. That's why dB is equal to dB cos theta k cap, because the resultant vector lies in the z direction. So dB vector cos theta k is dB vector, we have found already. To find B from dB, we are going to integrate this. dB vector is integrated, and now we have the dB vector with only the vertical component. So dB vector cos theta k. dB we have already mu naught 4 pi IDL divided by r square cos theta k cap, and mu naught I divided by 4 pi is the constant, and dl cos theta k cap divided by r square is inside the integration. Mu naught I divided by 4 pi and dl cos theta we have known already, that is r divided by root of r square plus z square cos theta adjacent by hypotenuse, and r square is r square plus z square k cap. These two terms are getting multiplied, that's why power will be added. This has the power of 1, that is r square plus z square whole power 1, and r square plus z square root means that is power 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 plus 1 is 3 by 2. Mu naught divided by 4 pi r square plus z square the whole power 3 by 2. Integration of dl k cap. Mu naught I r divided by 4 pi r square plus z square the whole power 3 by 2 dl. When the dl is integrated, it is going to give the total circumference of the circular coil. So 0 to 2 pi r k cap. So mu naught I r 4 pi r square plus z square the whole power 3 by 2. Integration of dl is L, and limits lower is 0, upper limit is 2 pi r into k cap. Mu naught I 4 pi r square plus z square the whole power 3 by 2, upper limit is 2 pi r, lower limit is 0, k cap. So cancel the common terms. We are going to get mu naught I r into r is r square divided by 2 into r square plus z square the whole power 3 by 2 k cap is the final expression for the magnetic field of a circular coil which is made at the point P. So Here the direction of the current is in anti-clockwise direction. That's why the magnetic field along the axis in the direction of O to P. If it is made into clockwise direction, then the direction of the magnetic field will be P to O.